Hey everyone, and welcome to the Alba Method. So today's session is all about strengthening and conditioning our foundation so that we are able to progress and access some of the more complex shapes like inversions and arm balances. We're going to be focusing on the core and the midline, but you're going to get a total body workout in today's session. You'll need a mat and maybe a bottle of water. When you're ready, I'll meet you there. Okay, today we're going to start on our back. So go ahead and lay down, and I want you to start by pulling the knees into the chest. And gently release the weight onto your mat as you hug your knees into your chest. Just gently start to rock side to side. You can find a soft gaze here, or gently close the eyes. And just start to breathe. Get connected to your breath for a moment. Get some feedback from the body, taking a quick scan of the body and how it's feeling today. And just breathe. Let your feet relax. Let the low back relax. Let everything just relax for a moment. Good. Start by extending your left foot down to the mat. Really flex the foot, but allow the heel to rest on the ground. Pulling your right knee into your chest. Just hug that thigh to the belly. Keeping both feet flexed, start to push through your left heel as you pull the knee in tighter the chest, and then move that right knee to the outside of the rib cage up towards the armpit. Just pause here. Take some ankle circles with the feet, with that right foot, maybe both. And then just gently cross that right knee over to the left side of the body. Cactus that right arm and just take a gentle twist here. Good. Coming back to your center on your inhale. And switch out your legs, extending that right foot down to the ground. Really flex the foot. Find some activity through that right leg and then hug that left thigh towards the belly. And just taking a breath, feeling that slight compression through that hip flexor. Continue to push through that right heel as you keep the foot flexed. Start to pull that left knee to the outside of the rib cage up towards the armpit. Just pause here. And from here, cross that left knee over the body, cactus that left arm, and just twist. Breathe. Just getting some feedback, noticing where you're at. Good. On your next inhale, coming back to your center, pulling both knees into your chest, and wrap your arms around your shins, pull your forehead into your knees. Just come into this small ball on the mat, feeling the back side on the mat, gently rock side to side, giving the low back a little love. Good. From here, release your feet to the mat. Bring your arms down by your sides, palms are down, and walk those shoulder blades underneath you to create that shelf. And adjust the feet so that the feet and the heels are right underneath the knees. Feel your shoulders pressing into the mat, the backs of the arms, the hands. Start to press your low back into the mat, so shifting your pelvis. Pressing the low back into the mat, start to root down through the center of each heel and start to just lift your hips up, pressing through the back of your head. Just pause here. Squeeze your glutes. And then slowly release hips to the mat. Good. Do that again. Start to lift your hips, pressing through the center of each heel. From here, start to lift your heels, pressing through the balls of the feet. Lift your hips higher. Notice that difference. Keep pressing through the back of the head, the backs of the arms, and then slowly release the heels as you release the hips. Good. From here, rooting down through the feet, start to lift your chest off the mat. Start to extend your arms towards the front of your space, elevating the arms. Start to pulse those hands up and down, just getting strong through the core body now. Continue to press your low back into the mat, keeping your gaze soft and not dropping the chin down too much, but simply keeping the gaze between the knees. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, start to pull your knees into your chest and then extend the heels out, keeping the feet pressing together. Point your toes. Keep your low back pressing into the mat and start to move those feet in and out. Engaging those legs, keeping the core body strong. Good. Keep reaching for the top of your space as you extend the toes. 4 more. Keep this belly button pulling back towards the spine. Last 3. Keep the feet pressing together. Last 2. Good. Last 1. Extend those heels. Pause. Now start to bring the arms, the biceps by the ears, creating this hollow shape. Hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pulling those knees into your chest. Release that. Take a breath. Good. Pulling the knees into the chest, rock yourself up to a seat. And coming into a tabletop position, rolling over those feet and setting up this shape. So take a moment here to bring the hands underneath the shoulders and the hips over the knees. And start by the tops of the feet flat to the mat. And just notice that difference. So press through the tops of the feet. Press through the heels of the hands. And bring the ears in line with the shoulders as you just find a soft gaze here. Take a couple breaths. And really start to root down through the index finger and your thumb mound, finding some energy through that inner arm. Feel the belly pulling in, the chest pulls in, the belly button pulls in. Start to root down through the tops of the feet as you find a cat round spine. Push the ground away, rounding through the shoulders. Pull the belly in as you drop your gaze. Getting nice and wide and full through the back side of the body, and then start to shift that gaze as you stretch the belly. Pulling the heels of the hands towards the knees. Just lift the gaze slightly. Feel that arch through the spine. Good. Do that again. Start to push through the hands as you drop the gaze. Start to push through the knees, the tops of the feet. Squeeze the glutes. And now from here, start to find that cow face pose. Adding that, tuck the toes under. Find a stretch through the feet. Good. One more time. Tops of the feet come to the mat. Push the ground away. Find that cat round spine, really pulling the shoulder blades away from each other. And then tuck the toes as you find that arch through the spine. Stretch the belly, lift the gaze. Beautiful. Come to a neutral position here. Walk your knees in a little bit closer to your hands, and keeping the toes tucked under, start to lift your knees off the mat, finding this bear shape. So continuing to press through the heels of the hands, the index finger and the thumb mound. Pull the belly in. Feel that engagement through the core. Pause. And then release that, bringing the tops of the feet flat. Find that cat round spine. Good. And then find that cow face pose. Tuck the toes. Good. Find that neutral position. Keeping the toes tucked under. Start to lift those knees off the ground, really rounding through the shoulders. Now from here, take that right knee up towards your right tricep. Pause there. Press knee into tricep and tricep into knee, and then lean into those hands even more. Come back to center and switch. Hovering those knees above the mat. Take that left knee to your left tricep. Pause. Pressing tricep into knee and knee into tricep. Shift forward into those hands. Coming back to center. And release. Tops of the feet come flat, finding that cat round spine. And then tucking the toes, finding that cow face pose. Good. From here, sit your hips to your heels, keeping the toes tucked under. Roll out those shoulders a few times. Notice the difference. And just take a moment to check in. Feeling that core body awake and turned on. Coming back to a tabletop position. From here, flip the heels of your hands so that your fingertips face back towards your knees. And now from here, really pressing through the heels of the hands and getting strong through the shoulders. Start to just gently shift your hips back. Really gripping the mat with all 10 fingers. Drop the chin down. Drop the gaze. Good. Coming back to your center. Coming back to that neutral position. From here, finding that bear shape once again. Good. From here, I just want you to take your hips back towards your heels. So shifting into those feet. And then taking shoulders over wrists. Keeping that bear shape. Keeping those knees hovering. Just start to move back and forth now in this loaded position. And just notice what you feel through the hands and the feet. Good. 2 more times. Just shifting forward and back. Keeping the feet and the hands strong. And then coming in to a downward facing dog. Go ahead and walk those feet back and set up this shape. Taking a moment to check in, make sure the hands are in line with the shoulders. Feet are in line with the hips, and the head relaxes down between the arms. Good. So start to lift and lower the heels, feeling that stretch through the feet, continuing this movement. Good. As you lift the heels, start to shift back into those hands, coming into a plank position here. Push the ground away. Find the belly pulling in and up, and the hips almost in line with the shoulders. Get really round through the spine. Staying on the balls of the feet, and then shift those hips up and back. Downward facing dog. 2 more times. Shift forward. Nice and slow, controlling that movement, feeling that strength, feeling that core turn on, and then hips go high to the sky. Good, one more time. And hips go high to the sky. Good, from here, start to reach your right leg up to the sky. Good, bringing the heel in line with the hip, just pause, continue to press into the hands and then pull knee into the chest. You're going to slide that foot just to the outside of the left mat and then start to drop the hip. Gently, keep pushing through the heels of the hands. Just notice what you feel, letting that hip melt and then coming back to center, moving the body together, extend that right leg up. Good, from here, bend the knee, let that hip roll open. And now using that core body, step wide to a runner's lunge. Just pause here. Good. Allow that back knee to release down, keeping the hands underneath you for support. Just lift the chest. Continue to find some power through that right foot. And just breathe. Good. Bring those hands back to the mat wherever you are. Tuck those back toes. Pick up your back knee. Find that lunge position. Good, and then sweep that right leg high to the sky. And release. Downward facing dog, take a moment. Good, on your next inhale, left leg goes up. Heel in line with the hip, keep pressing into those hands. Pause, feel that core turn on. And then pull that knee into the chest first. Just extend it to the right side of your mat. And then using your hands for support, start to roll so you can let those hips release. Just notice what you feel. Good, coming back to center, moving the whole body together. Extend that left leg up, bend the knee, let that hip roll open. Keeping the hands strong and then step wide to that runner's lunge. Left foot to the outside of your left hand. Turn those toes to face about 11 o'clock. Release the back knee and just pause. Using those hands for support. If you have tight hips, you can come up onto the fingertips. You can take that foot wider, making those little adjustments. Listening to your body. Just breathe. Good, and then release those hands back to the mat. Pick up that back knee, sweeping that left leg high. And release, downward facing dog. Pause. Beautiful. Just take a breath and let it go. Good, reach that right leg up to the sky here. And pull that knee into your chest. Good. Taking that right foot to the outside of the left side of the mat. On the knife edge, start to spin that left heel. Again, release the hip as you lift the gaze. Good. Coming back to center. The whole body moves together. Right leg reaches high. From here, bend the knee. Open that hip. Good. Start to soften. So start to flip so that your right foot touches the ground and you're facing the back of your mat. Release the hips. So we're spinning on that left hand. Walk that left hand back for support. Extend your right arm up and then reach for the inner edge of that left foot. Press your right knee and your right shoulder into one another. Shift forward into those hips. Stand on that right foot. And then the whole body's going to move together. So release your left hand. Release your right. You're going to spin back around so that the right leg goes high. You're on the ball of that left foot. Beautiful. Release, downward facing dog. Second side, left leg reaches up. Inhale, pause. Pull that left knee into the chest. Good, extend that knife edge of that left foot. Allow the hips to release as you roll to the edges of the feet. Good, coming back to center. Left leg reaches up, the whole body moves. Bend the knee and release that hip. Good, start to flip over. Moving that right foot, releasing the ball of the left foot and releasing the hips. That right hand is there for support. Make those little adjustments and then reach for the inside of your right foot. That left knee and left shoulder press into one another. Good. And then the hands release. That right hand is solid for your release. Flipping back over to that three-legged dog. Left leg reaches high. And release, down dog. Good. From here, shifting forward to that plank, just pause here. And now slowly bring it all the way to your belly. Bringing the forearms out in front of you. Hug those elbows into the ribs. Now walking those hips underneath you. Press through the tops of the feet. Squeeze the glutes.
And then spreading the fingertips wide, start to push down through the forearms. As you push down through the forearms, you feel the shoulders get strong. And now energetically draw the elbows back towards you as if you were trying to slide your body forward with just the energy in your arms. Press through the tops of the feet. Bring the ears back over the shoulders. Keep pressing through the elbows. And then from here, start to release your gaze down. Start to tuck your toes, just like that bear pose. Start to lift the whole body off the mat, finding this forearm plank. Keeping shoulders stacked over the elbows. Start to shift forward into those arms, and then shift back into the heels of the feet. Good. 4 more times, shifting forward and shifting back. 3 more. Keep the belly pulling in. Stay nice and strong through those arms and those shoulders. Last 2. And last 1. Good. Take shoulders over those elbows. Start to drop your gaze as you walk your feet in, coming into this dolphin shape. Continue to press through those elbows. Press through those hands. Keep your gaze down between the toes. Continue to breathe. Keep leaning into those forearms, hips high to the sky. And then release your knees. Coming back through a tabletop position. And stepping back to your downward facing dog. Just notice what you feel. Beautiful. Good. Reach that right leg up to the sky. Pulling that knee into the chest. This time you're going to extend the knife edge of that foot. Continuing to root down through that right hand. Lift your left arm to the sky, coming into this toppling triangle shape. Good. The whole body moves together. Spin to the ball of that left foot as you release the left hand. Slide that right foot through, extending it to the sky. Bending the knee and letting that heel drop. Start to spin back to that seat facing the back of your mat. Reach for the inside of your left foot. So good. Adding on, plant that left foot. From here, we're going to come into this 3-point chaturanga. You're going to flip to the hands, keeping that right knee bent. Start to come halfway down. Good. Lifting up for upward facing dog. Both feet release to the ground. Press through the tops of the feet and then pull back, downward facing dog. So good. Let's try the other side. Left leg reaches high. Good. Pull that knee into your chest. Pause. Extending the knife edge of that foot. Root down through that left hand as you reach up with the right. Good. Release the right hand first and the gaze. Spin to the ball of that right foot. Extend the left leg high. Inhale. And then bend the knee. Let that guide you all the way over. Keep rooting down through that right hand and reach for the right foot. Good. So the right hand plants. You're going to flip the whole body back over, coming into a chaturanga ekapada, and then lifting up, upward facing dog. And pulling back, downward facing dog. Take a breath. And let it go. Check in. So good. Good. Adding on, right leg reaches up. Pull that knee into the chest. The body starts to recognize it. Extend the knife edge of that foot, opening up for that toppling triangle. Let the gaze go with you. And then release the gaze, coming into that 3-legged dog. Pause. Bending that knee and flipping over to the outside of the mat. Reach for that left foot. Pause. Good. From here, start to lift your hips. As you lift the right heel like we did in bridge, start to reach the right hand back. So we're on the ball of that right foot. That left foot is rooted and grounded, coming into this wild thing variation. And then start to spin, keeping that right knee bent, coming into that chaturanga ekapada. And then coming into upward facing dog. That right leg continues to stay high as you come into downward facing dog. Right leg reaches up. From here, step wide to that runner's lunge and pause. Root down through that right foot. Good. From here, bring that left foot to meet. And then step your right foot back and come to that lunge. Try to stay light in the hands and really use your core and legs to move the body. Good. Do that again. Step the right foot forward. Step your left foot back. Good. Allow the hips to release just ever so slightly. Feel that stretch and then get nice and buoyant. Using your core and staying light in those feet. Switch sides. Coming back to that right side and pause. Taking that wide runner's lunge. Hold here. Both feet are going to move. You're going to start to spin to the edges of the feet. Once again, letting that left hip drop. Stretch. Good. Coming back to that runner's lunge. Start to spin those right toes parallel to the left side of the mat. Rooting down through the knife edge of that left foot, we're now in this side lunge. Good. Keep pressing through the outer edge of that foot. And now from here, keep your left hand down. Reach your right arm up. Pause. Good. Coming back to center. Everything releases together. Move the feet. Coming back to that runner's lunge. Release the back knee. Pull the left heel into the glute. Take that left hand out just a touch and then reach that right arm up and back for the foot. Good. Stretching that quad, keep lifting through that left hand. Squeeze your left glute, protecting the hip. And then everything releases together. Tuck those toes, bring the hands down. From here, pick up your back knee and pause. From here, start to hug that right knee in towards your right shoulder, just like we did in the beginning of class. Start to point your right toes back. Come into this hurdle prep, right knee to right tricep. Pause. Reaching that right leg up. And release, downward facing dog. So good. Take an inhale and let it go. Good. Left side, left leg reaches high. Good. Start to pull the knee into the chest as you come into that toppling triangle variation, rooting through that left hand, reaching up with the right. The whole body moves together. Release the hand, coming into that three-legged down dog, and then bend the knee. Start to flip over to the back of the mat. Reaching for that foot. Remember, left knee, left shoulder presses into one another. From here, we create that wild thing variation. Come to the ball of that left foot as you root down through the right. Lift up and arch. That right hand is your anchor as you start to flip around, coming into that chaturanga ekapada, releasing the left foot as you come into upward facing dog, and then that left leg goes high to the sky, three-legged dog. Inhale. Step wide to that runner's lunge. Pause. So good. Breathe. Same thing, get nice and light. So shifting the weight into that left foot, bring that right foot to me. From here, adding on, you're going to stand all the way up, pressing palms together. And then hands will come to the hips as you fold over the legs, a wide-legged forward fold. Take a halfway lift. Step your left foot back and lunge. Good, staying buoyant. Step that left foot forward, step your right foot back. Good, step your right foot forward, pause. Stand all the way up, pause. Hands to the hips and then push the hips back as you fold, pause. Taking that halfway lift, step your right foot back, hold. Coming back to this lunge, start to spin to the edges of the feet, releasing that right hip, rolling to both edges of the feet, letting that hip stretch. Good, then coming back to your center. Start to spin those left toes towards the right side of your mat, coming to the knife edge of that right foot, finding this lunge shape. Keeping that right hand down, start to twist up with the left. Good, and then release that, pause. Good, coming back to that lunge shape. Release the back knee. Start to pull that heel in as you reach up and back for the foot, rooting down through that left foot, rooting through that right hand. Lift the chest as you spin, breathe. And then everything releases together. Hands come underneath the shoulders. Pick up that back knee. Left knee glues to the tricep. Come into that hurdle prep. Point the toes back. Pause. Good. Extend that left leg up. And release. Downward facing dog. So good. Together we move one more time. Reach that right leg up. Pulling the knee into the chest. Find that toppling triangle. The whole body moves together. Start to connect the movement. Release as you come into that three-legged dog. Bend the knee. Let that guide you over. As you reach for the left foot, knee and shoulder glue to one another. Start to pick up that right heel as you extend into that wild thing variation. That left hand is your anchor. And then come into that chaturanga ekapada. Good. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, pull back. Right leg reaches high. Good. Step wide to that runner's lunge. Pause. Get light through that back foot. Coming into that squat variation with the feet wide. Stand all the way up. Hands come to the hips as you fold. Take that halfway lift. Step your right foot back and lunge. Good. Get light. Get buoyant. One more time. Step forward. Coming into that squat variation. Stand all the way up. And come all the way down. Take that halfway lift. Step your left foot back, coming into that runner's lunge. Hands come underneath the shoulders for support. Start to spin to the edges of the foot as you let the hip drop. Good. Coming back around. Spin those right toes in as you come into that Skandasana prep. Then start to spin those left toes. As you bring that right shoulder to the inside of the right knee, start to extend those hands forward. Just pause here. Rooting down through those feet. And then we release everything, coming back to that Skandasana prep. Spin the feet back to that runner's lunge, releasing the back knee. Reach that right arm up and back for the foot. Coming back to center, hands come underneath the shoulders, pick up that back knee, glue right knee to right tricep, point those toes back. From here you can come halfway down for a chaturanga push-up and then press right back up, extend the right toes up. Release, downward facing dog. So good. Take a breath in, check in. And let it go. Last time through, left leg reaches up. Pull that knee into the chest, coming into that toppling triangle variation. Stay strong. Release the hand, coming into that three-legged dog. Bending that knee, let that flip you over. Taking that hand with you, reach for the foot. Glue that tricep and knee into one another. Taking that wild thing variation, lift the heels, you lift the hips, reach. Let that bring you around to that chaturanga ekapada. Pause. Lifting up and pulling back. Left leg goes high to the sky. Beautiful. Step wide. Pause here. Get light through that back foot. Step forward. Coming into that squat, inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to hips as you fold. Take a halfway lift. Step your left foot back and lunge. Pause. Get light. Step forward. Stand all the way up. Hands come to the hips as you fold all the way down. Take that halfway lift. Right foot steps back and hold. Bring the hands back underneath you. Set it up. Start to spin to the edges of the feet as you let that hip release. Notice what you feel. Coming back to center, the whole body moves together, coming into that Skandasana prep, and then start to spin those right toes. Press this left knee out. Shoulder and knee glued together. Good. You can also just use your hands for support here, and then we release together, creating it, and then dismantling, coming into that lunge. Pause. Release the back knee, reach up and back for the foot. Keep pushing through that right hand. Everything releases together. Hands underneath the shoulders. Glue that left knee to left tricep. Set it up. You can come halfway down here. Press up and then extend the left leg high. And release. Downward facing dog. So good. Take a breath. And as you exhale, release those knees. Sitting your hips to your heels. Roll out those shoulders. And just notice the difference. Take a couple breaths. Check in. Notice that shift in energy. And that strength we feel. Go ahead and shift your hips to one side. And extend those legs out in front of you. Start by pulling that right foot in. So just like we did during our flow. And you're going to use this left hand for support. Take this right arm to the inside. Same thing. Spin your palm so that it faces away from you. You're going to roll the shoulder all the way in so that you can reach that arm behind you. We don't necessarily need to clasp the hands. This is just a great stretch for that shoulder. So again, pressing knee into shoulder and shoulder into knee. And I'm standing on that right foot to really lift the chest. Flex those left toes like we did in the beginning of class, getting that hip flexor involved. And then from here, you're going to unwind, pull that knee into the chest, grabbing onto the inner edge of the foot, just extend that heel. Shift forward ever so slightly as you lift the chest and bring that right arm behind you. Good. Bringing both hands to the foot and then release that left hand and reach back behind you. Good. Coming back to center, bending that knee. Take it to the inside of that left leg and just shift over that left foot. Letting everything settle and everything absorb. Good. Inhale, just sit up tall and switch sides, extending that right foot. pull that left heel in. So my sit bone lifts up, pulling that left heel all the way in for support. Using my right hand for support, this left arm comes all the way to the inside. Spin the palm. And then press knee into shoulder, shoulder into knee. Just pause here. And the hand can be on the hand and the fingertips. Maybe it's just holding on to your left glute. Wherever it is, though, we want the action to be happening here in the shoulder and the knee. Really flex through that right foot, using that right hand as a kickstand. Good, and then as you're ready, start to unwind that, pulling that left knee in, grabbing for the inner arch of that foot, extend the heel, lean forward, keep this right leg strong, reach back for a twist. Beautiful. Coming back to center, grabbing the foot with both hands, and then finding that opposite open twist. Beautiful. Coming back to center, bend that knee, bring that foot to the inside of the leg as you fold over that right leg. Just breathe. So good. Good. And as you come back to center, bringing the soles of the feet together, keeping the knees bent, bringing the hands to the shins. Just sit up tall, using the hands on the shins as leverage. Let the shoulders draw down the back. And then just fold over those arms. And then go ahead and close those knees as you sit up and scoot yourself on to your back, coming full circle to where we began. And just breathe here for a moment. Good. Cactusing the arms, keeping the knees pulling into the chest. Drop your knees to the right as you gaze over your left shoulder. Taking these final twists and these final moments to just settle in. Pulling the knees back in, just switch sides. Taking your gaze over your right shoulder. Good, and on your next inhale, coming back to your center, rubbing your arms around your shins, pull your forehead in towards your knees, coming back to this tiny ball, noticing all the differences. And we'll find just a moment of stillness here. So allow your legs to extend and the arms to release down by your sides. Palms are up, and just give your weight to the mat. Just for a moment, let everything just absorb. Allow yourself to completely just surrender, finding that soft gaze, or you can close the eyes here, whatever's most comfortable for you. Just stay in this moment. Stay with the breath. And from the crown of the head to the tips of the toes, just take that final scan of the body, of the mind, of the breath. And start to point your toes as you reach your arms above your head, expanding into all that space we created. And pulling the knees back into your chest. Pull your forehead into your knees and use that to rock yourself up to a seat, coming with the legs crossed or on your knees. And bringing the hands together in front of your heart, and just be tall. And you get to keep this energy. Take it with you. Bow your chin to your chest, giving yourself that honor and that salute always for showing up first and foremost. And bringing your thumbs right between the brow, finding that space of gratitude today for whatever it is we're grateful for. Take an inhale here. And in that gratitude, we bow to this practice and to all things. Much love. Thank you so much. Great job today. I hope you all enjoyed this session. We'll see you for the next one. Ciao.